Namaskar. Welcome to the fourth session on Establish a Healthy Foundation. Today I'm going to show you just one asana. It's called Gomukhasana. Gomukh is cow's head pose. Let's see. The asana is sitting pose. So I'm going to show you a little bit of warming up. Not much. It opens up the chest, upper part of the body, shoulders area and all that. So we're going to do a little bit of stretching on the upper part of the body, especially if you've been sitting down and not moving so much. Otherwise, these poses, these movements will be very useful for you to do the asana. And also some hip openers. So without much talking, I'm going to let's do some hip openers. Now, let me see. This asana is very interesting. It can be very beneficial for men. So let's go into it before I start the asana. The hip openers, there are many different various ways to do. Let's do the simple butterfly pose where you can also benefit when you're sitting in lotus. Just what I usually recommend is to just sit in front of the TV or somewhere if you are occupied with many things and just flap like the butterfly is flapping. If you find it difficult, you might do one at a time. Or you may also assist it to just, slowly, gradually, sort of massaging and then stretching a little bit the inner part of your thigh as well. Then there's also some kind of poses like, the swan pose may be useful for you. You can put your leg here or further. Just go into the pose. Doesn't matter where it is, you have to see what gives you that stretch that you need. At the same time, I'm stretching my neck a little bit. I'm going to change side. The outer part of the thigh, when you're sitting in the pose, will be useful for you to give a little bit of a circulation. Yes. Come up. Let's do a little bit of the arms. Of course, you can do this sitting if you find it difficult. If you are not good in, if you find that it's difficult to bend into this pose, you can do it lying, just a little variation. Take off my glasses. I'm resting my left side on the left arm. Some of us need a little bit wider or not, a little bit forward. Just find that position just to stretch the arm limit. Let's change side. You can stay longer than this if you want, but maybe enough. I'm just going to stretch a little bit on the upper part of the neck. You can use a blanket to support your arms, or if you may need. Otherwise, you could may not use a blanket. You just rest on the elbow. Forehead on the floor, a bit further. Or if you like, you can also do it just this way. But let's see. This is doing it at the same time. Symmetrical. So a lot more. You feel it a lot more in the spine, center part of the upper back. You go further on your knees if you're not reaching up to the upper part of the body. But sometimes just sitting down for a bit, you can already feel the stretch on the shoulders. And release. Coming up. You may find that you can also do this way, but that mostly stretches more the front than the upper back, or this way. Release the fingers, just opening up the chest, and release. Up and down. Do some rotating. 1, 2. Breathing in and out. 3. Change direction. 1, 2, and 3. A bit of stretch the left side. Feel the stretch all the way from the hip. And nearly pushing yourself up. And then the other side. And yeah, I'd like to change the leg. You can also do this sitting in cross-legged in the cow's head pose. I'll show you a little bit. And inhaling out, and the other side. Stretching your eyes and release. All right, we'll do the pose. Gomukhasana. So straighten the legs first. Bring the right leg under, and the left leg is on top. So it's like a shoelace pose. Now, you can see that my left knee is on top of the right. But you may also, if you're not able to be on top of each other, it's perfectly fine. It can be just any position like this. In some cases, you may also need some support. I'm going to bring the blocks. Okay. Some of us may need support on the other leg. Or others may need additional support under the knee, in both legs. Or others may probably use to sit on the block, because then it's easier for them to cross the leg in a cross-legged position. Whichever you choose or you need to do, or just a blanket even is possible under your sitting bone. So you're comfortable. Sometimes the pressure on the ankles can be also painful, so ensure that you are comfortable. You may want to sit on a blanket instead of just flat on the mat. So there you go. Left leg on top. Now, you may want to stretch a little bit if you like in this position before you go into the pose. That gives you additional stretch if you have not done so much stretching before the asana, just to prepare yourself to get into the pose. And that's why if you're not doing much warm-up, you could just, stay in a position that is comfortable. It doesn't pull the muscle unnecessarily. Be careful of the pinchment on the back. It may pull the sciatica, but otherwise actually may help assist overcome that pain. So left leg on top. Now right arm is on top. Right arm is on top, and left arm swing to touch the bottom, the upper arm. Now this is the part where you may not be able to reach and do it this way at the back. It's perfectly fine. You may use, I didn't bring my strap. If you have a strap or a towel or a pair of socks, a sock, I'll show you what it looks like at the back. Basically, the right on top, so you can just hold like this. Okay, ensure that the spine is upright. You're not slouching. That's not very good. Stay upright. So if your leg is apart, it's fine. And then in this position, so pulling the right, pulling up, the left, pulling down. In a way, it's sort of giving the extra strength as well. So we're staying here for about 30 seconds. You could do without. I want to show you how the back looks like so you can see. Or you may even just hold on to your blouse or something. But keep the spine straight if possible. And then very slowly release it. Very carefully release it, because you might pull a muscle if you don't. In some cases, you might feel some pins and needles on the arm while doing it. So come out of it, release it, and come back to it. I want to mention, maybe change side. Left leg is down, right is on top. Now, when the right leg is on top, the left arm is on top. So just like a walking, it's the opposite side. So you can swing the right arm down or the left arm up first, whichever, does not matter, and try to catch. I'll explain a little bit more on the shoulder. So you're holding it, looking at one point. It's good to focus whether it's the tip of your nose at one point in front of you, so you are concentrating. Like I say, if you're not able to cross so much, you can place the leg like this, is perfectly fine, and give supporting it with a block or a blanket. And stay for about 30 seconds. If you feel pins and needles, come out of it, release it, and bring it back. Sometimes it's because you're pulling too much. You will need to use a towel so that pins and needles don't come, because you're not pinching those vertebrae. And slowly release. Take your time to release. Do not rush into releasing this pose. Now, let me explain a little bit more on the pose. For males, you actually can sit pressing into your Muladhara chakra. That means that the first part, the right heel is under. You can press into your Muladhara chakra where it is suitable for you, and then you sit on it. For the ladies, you don't really have to press into the Muladhara chakra. If it can be quite uncomfortable, or rather, it's sort of irritating. So we do not sit pressing into the Muladhara chakra for ladies. You can place them just by the side of your thighs. You can sit on it, on the thigh, but not in the Muladhara chakra. Now the arms, the right arm is up. You're going to place, so the right arm is sort of moving up in the upward direction, and then rotating. It's an external rotation. Okay, stretching the pecs, the chest area. So it's external rotation. So it's an external rotation and the lifting of the shoulder blade, catching. The left arm is going down, and then it's internally rotated this way. So in a way, this pose, you don't really find the shoulder is sort of balanced. So right arm, left arm swing and down. So you're going down. It can be a nice stretch for the chest, shoulders. That's why when you have any acute conditions, you should not do the asana, because it can aggravate the condition, especially if it's inflammation of the shoulders, shoulder blades. It can be quite, you should take a rest from it. And slowly, sometimes when you feel the pins and needles, it's almost 30 seconds or less. So come out of it. You don't have to stay for 30 seconds. You can spend less time than that. Okay? So release is only one side. You have to do the other side. Now left leg is down, right on top. Adjust the body, the leg. For males, you can press into Muladhara Chakra or keep, otherwise, if it's possible. Otherwise, just put it on top or to the side of the body, of your thigh, of your leg. Then left arm up, right arm down. So the right arm is upward and rotating out, external rotation. Left arm is down and is internally rotated. Use a towel if you need to hold to the pose. Focus on one point in front of you. Usually you can feel the stretch on your back in the kidneys area, the muscle that connects from the hip to the rib cage. You can feel a bit of stretch there, it's quite nice. And slowly release it. From the pose. Feel the difference in the right side, left side, in the body. If you find 2 rounds is enough, then stop at 2 rounds. Otherwise, the full set is 4 rounds and about 30 seconds each side. This pose is really it's quite healthy for women as well to do. But you have to do it carefully. You have to be mindful how you do the pose, like not pressing into the Muladhara Chakra and all that. Right and left. Otherwise, it's really a booster also for the adrenal glands, the way the kidneys are enhanced during this pose. And slowly release it. You find the stretch on your back, especially the quadratus lumborum is really stretched very nicely with the kidneys up. And the other side. The asana actually gives it brings calmness to the mind too. It's interesting how it can boost up the immune system, the kidneys. At the same time, it's very calming for the mind. Really, many practitioners have found the such benefits, especially in focusing and concentration in meditation as well, because you're focusing on one point. Opens up the Anahata chakra, the position of this pose. That's why I suggest if you can keep your spine upright instead of slouching. If you cannot reach, don't try to reach the hands. That's not the goal. So you can use a towel. It's very important to use props, especially if your muscles are tense, or you don't want to overstretch and the muscles, so that you might not you might injure it, and then it's harder to go into performing it better. And slowly release it. So it's better to, like I say, not to do more, but less. More does not always mean better. So we've done the third round, right? Let's do the last round. 4 sets. I find that even I do one asana, there's so much benefits from the asana. If you really have no time, if that's the only asana you can do, it's still better than not doing any asanas. Right and left. Like I said, more is not necessarily better, because it's better to go into a position where it's just less harder and you can perform better after the next time. It prepares the body to do better the next time. The breathing is normal. You're not holding any breath. And slowly releasing it. The other side. And slowly release, take your time. Let's go into Shavasana, because we have done 4 sets of it. Some of us may need some support in Shavasana, whether it's on the back of your head, on your back of your knee. You may do so. Okay, just lie down. Shavasana, if you're doing this full round, is really beneficial for you to do, so you could optimize from the asana that you've just done. It's just like a refractory period, Shavasana. And maybe about 1 minute. You can open the eyes, roll to one side, perhaps to the right side. Bend the knees with your hands. Come up with the neck as the last vertebra to be up. Okay, we've done Gomukhasana. It's really a nice pose to do, especially if you want to focus, you want to overcome a lot of problems of the lower chakras. Also on the upper part, actually it helps really open up the chest, removes a lot of tension on the neck and shoulders, and it helps to invigorate your kidneys. It does. And of course you have the extra stretch in your thighs and your shoulders. Now, okay, so you can combine it with other asanas. You could also do with some forward bending or backward bending. This is more opening up the chest, so you may want to finish up with a forward bending pose like Yoga Mudra, or even Dirga Pranam, or any other Utkata Paschimottanasana maybe. So you can combine it with the other asanas to complete your session of yoga. And please finish up with massage before your final Shavasana. Thank you for joining us in this session. See you at the next one. Namaskar.